Welcome back to my channel, guys, where I share tips to help make you a better mover. And today we will be talking about how you can make your movement flow better. I'll be sharing the 2 tricks that have helped me the most. I'm Mimi, and I help dancers master movement and magnetism so that they can become their own muse. I specialize in fluid movement, flexibility, and of course, eye contact. So the reason you're probably watching this video is because you feel like your movement looks and feels disconnected. Maybe you don't want your tricks pass to look like a gymnastics pass where you have trick after trick after trick. Or maybe you want your dance to look like it's connected and not move after move after move. So first, let's define what I mean by flow. So there is a difference between movement that flows and being in a flow state. However, the two are not mutually exclusive. In fact, it's often very common for movement that flows to happen in a flow state. But for the purpose of this video, we are just going to define flow as movement that looks and feels connected. So let's go over these 2 different videos I have. In this first video, my movement is disconnected. I'm stopping after each move and going on to the next in a way that has nothing to do with the last one. So you might be thinking, Mimi, what about in choreography where there's a pause that's choreographed? This does not apply to those situations. Where it could apply though is when you're trying to choreograph a transition between 2 different moves, or when you hear a sound in the music that's like a flow and you want to be able to emulate that sound with your body. Another thing you might be thinking is, Mimi, what if I'm not flexible? Okay, fluidity has nothing to do with flow. Flow is about being able to connect your movement, whereas fluidity, you need a little bit of more mobility and flexibility for that. So to reiterate, you do not need to be flexible to have flow. Now you might also be thinking, what if I just can't remember what comes next and that's why I pause between moves? Okay, great. You are in the perfect place to learn about flow because flow can actually help you dictate what comes next instead of like thinking and trying to remember what comes next. And this is something I'll talk about more in trick number 2. All right, if you like this video so far, please like, comment, subscribe, do all the things so that I can keep making free content for you. All right, so let's get into how I went from video 1 to video 2. My first tip, try to think of your entire choreography or sequence as a whole, as one. So if you think that's a lot, which it might be the case, especially if you're just starting to learn something, then my advice is to actually take 3 moves and consider that as one. So let me explain a little bit more by what I mean by this by showing you an example. So here's an example of what I mean by that. I'm going to take the body roll to a dip spin to show you. So we have a body roll and then a dip spin. So you'll notice I have to do a regrip here, right? My body roll grip is here. When I'm going into my dip spin, I have to reach up to go into my dip spin. So one way you can really make that movement connected is to make your regrip part of your body roll. So for example, without doing that, with your movement disconnected, I would have to go like this, and then I'd have to go like this, and then I can dip spin to the other side. When I connect them and make the arm part of the body roll, now the movement is much more connected. So again, I hope you see that difference. before we get into tip number 2, if you want insights like this straight to your inbox, sign up for my newsletter here. All right, tip 2. Use weight transfers to create flow. So if you're the type of person to always be thinking about what to do next or trying to remember what to do next, this tip is definitely for you, because I used to be like this too. I used to always be in my head trying to remember or think about what I should be doing next until I started using this tip. So this strategy is all about using your weight to go from one move to the next. And I want you to think about how well you really understand weight transfers. Because if you're like Mimi, I already know everything there is to know about weight transfers. Nope. I'm gonna tell you right now that you don't. I thought the same thing 5 years ago, and here I am 5 years later, still learning about weight transfer. So let me demonstrate what I mean by this tip. So here's an example, and I'm going to use the same 2 moves we did for trick number 1, which is the body roll and the dip spin. So just to review, we have a body roll where our re-grip is now part of the body roll. Now when I wanna go to a dip spin, I have to actually think about using my leg to swing myself around. But instead of doing that, because this looks disconnected, right? Let's see if we can connect it all with the weight shift concept. So when I'm body rolling, making my re-grip part of my body roll, now I'm already thinking about shifting my weight to prepare me for the dip spin. Now to do the dip spin, we have to create this circular motion of our hips, right? That's what this leg bringing me back and then around is doing. It is creating a circular motion with my hips. So if I wanted to do that without disconnecting my movements, once I come down from the body roll, I'm going to think about placing my hips in the optimal position to swing them around. If I just place my hips here, then there has to be a swing that has to happen, right? So instead, body rolling, weight shifting so that I can go straight into that dip spin. If you want to learn from me, all my links are down below. And if you want another tip like this, check out this video next. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, all the good things. I'll keep making free content for you.